behavioral changes in our children, and there is a question, by every parent of how do we handle this. So to answer to our queries, we've got Riddhi Doshi here. So welcome to Riddhi Doshi. Ma'am, thank you so much for coming here. Let me first give a little brief about Riddhi Doshi ma'am. So Riddhi Doshi ma'am is a qualified child psychologist. She's a speaker and an advisor to 16 TED Ed clubs. She is a recipient of multiple awards, including National Award and Young Entrepreneur Award. Riddhi ma'am is also a qualified trainer and has conducted training programs for corporates, individuals, educational institutes, and NGOs. So she has conducted thousands of parenting programs and more than 300 teacher training programs. She is a renowned mental health speaker. She has also conducted the very first roundtable conference to discuss the recommendations of NEP 2020 and has submitted a white paper to the Ministry of Education. So welcome Riddhi ma'am once again. Welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Isha.
Thank you. Riddhi ma'am, before we get into the Q&A session, I would want you to give me your thoughts about, this 1.5 year pandemic that we've gone through. And, the important topic today that we are discussing is stress. So could you share your thoughts about the topic that we are going to do today? And what was your experience during this pandemic? Yes.
So that's a lovely question, Isha. I would say yes. The pandemic has literally been, bad for many people, including me. I would say because I lost my father during this pandemic only. But if we speak about parents and children, I feel pandemic was a blessing in disguise because that's the time when parents and children were together and they had time to understand each other, to bond with each other, and create a space for each other in a way that they understand each other better. Otherwise, without pandemic, everybody was so busy with their work. Children were going to the school, so everything was so sad that they were not together. Probably for an hour or two, they might get together. So I think somewhere it has been a blessing in disguise, and somewhere it has been hard for many of them as well. And while we're talking about stress, yes, this 1.5 year, and I see now it's increasing also. That have so many cases when I'm dealing with stress in parents, anxiety and panic in children. So I see that's the flip side of pandemic. So just we may say that 20-25% was good because they had time to be together, but the flip side was quite worse.
Thank you, Riddhi, for answering.
Yes. I'm really happy that this is the topic you'll have chosen to talk, because I'm sure that the parents would need support, specifically parents with children who you're kind of quite young, below 5, and there are a lot of things that they are seeking support for, and what better than this?
Absolutely, Riddhi. So I think coming from that profession, majority of our centers, the parents and everyone, they come with the query of how they are supposed to handle their child at home, because everybody is now from home, working from home, studying, learning, everything is done from home itself. So there's a lot of mixing of a lot of things, and I think parents really are looking forward for answers to few of their questions, which I know that you will definitely help them out, and they will definitely implement most of them. So coming to we'll begin with our Q&A now. And coming to the first question that we would want to ask you, that is, how can parents enhance their child's cognitive development and social emotional development through day-to-day activities after their online session?
Awesome. Uh, if you remember, Aisha, or probably you are somebody who are a generation later than my generation, right? So probably we have seen. So I remember that I during my childhood days, we used to stay in a bungalow, and it's a huge garden. So every day, my mother would say that once you're back from school, no studies, just complete your homework and then go and play. Okay. And in the garden, there was Mali Kaka, Driver Kaka, everybody. And we used to hop on the trees, pluck flowers, create something out of those leaves and amazing things. Okay. Cognitive development depends upon how much space you give to your child to be creative, to go out of their space, out of their comfort zone and be creative, be exploring. And that's how they're going to learn and they're going to develop. Okay, simple as that. um, Talking about the current generation or the parents, it's very important that you give space to your children to be really creative. First, include them in the kitchen. As much as 1.5 years, start involving those children in the kitchen. How you can do that? Let the child sit on the platform, yeah, opposite side of the gas stove where you have put your where you're cooking. But give them some clay, give them some beans and coriander and methi and everything. Okay, and just give it to the children. See what they do with those things. Okay, you are allowing your child to be creative, because they might create small balls, or probably they might just smash it and try to see कि इसे क्या होता है, छोटा होता है, बड़ा होता है, black हो जाता है, क्या चीज है, right? So that's how they are able to be very creative in the things which they have been given. Second important thing is that we often restrict them to not to spoil the walls, or not to put the colors on the floor as well. Okay, I would say give them one dedicated this wall, and say this is your wall. So you can just divide the wall in two parts, and this is, you can say this is mama papa's wall and this is the little one's wall, right? And this is your space. Be creative. When we restrict their creativity, while when we give them a small paper to color, to draw, that is something where we are restricting. So if you see a small child, when the child is coloring, right, it doesn't color in the space, it goes like this, right? Because they don't see the space, they feel everything can be colored. So give them huge papers and jumbo crayons wherein they can be real creative about it. Ask them, how do we play with it? Ask them, how do we make this more interesting? This is how you're going to develop the cognitive skills of the child. Okay. And while we are talking about the social skills, while cognitive and social skills go hand in hand, it is very important that you communicate with your child. So even if your child is just 1 month, I'm talking about a 1 month old child, and the child is crying constantly. Probably the child has a stomach ache, or probably something else is paining, and the child is not able to express, because that's the only tool how they express. Talk to your child. I understand something is bothering you, right? That is how you need to start talking to your child. You are giving emotions to your child. I understand you're very happy today, the baby is smiling. So this is how you start giving that emotional vocabulary, instilling the emotional vocabulary in the child, and that's how you are increasing the social connect with one person to another and within as well. So child, when the child grows up, your child will not have a difficulty in expressing or sharing his thoughts, his or her thoughts, or talking about what is bothering them or what has actually affected them. It is as important as we talk about the body parts. It is as important as talking about body parts, talk about emotions and feelings as well. We avoid talking about emotions and feeling. We just say two emotions, you are happy and you are sad. But life is beyond that. There are 150 types of emotions and feelings. Let the child experience. And second thing, whenever child is even throwing a tantrum, don't come to the judgment that he or she is throwing an anger tantrum. ये तो बहुत गुस्सा वाला है, या हमेशा मस्ती करता रहता है. Instead of giving those tech to the child, ask the child, I understand you are upset. I understand you are angry. I understand you are not feeling good. Do you want to talk about it? This is how you give space to the child. One, vocabulary increases, emotional vocabulary increases. Two, the child understands that something is there which is bothering. Third, when the child say, I don't want to talk about it, maybe after some time you can probe, but immediately probing the child also is not a good way of treating the child, because when you give some space to the child understands what is happening within, and that's how they figure it out better. So it's important that you give some time to the child, some space to the child to understand. And the last but not the least about developing social skills in a child is, don't give surprises to the child. So if you have guests at home or if you are going somewhere, mentally prepare your child. And also it is important that your child mirrors, it is important that you allow your child to mirror you, right? So how would you do that? If you want that your child greets everybody, smile at people or the neighbors or the uncles and aunties who are coming home, instead of pushing, uncle is saying hi, hello, bolo. Instead of doing that, you can just say that, okay, you know what, today uncle and auntie are coming home. I would love if you say hi first. Second, you can just do it as the way you have been naturally doing it. Maybe first or second time the child might do it, for the third time the child will surely do it. The child mirrors you. So as much as you will do it, the child is ought to implement in his or her life. So prompting, nagging the child in front of everybody is a strict no-no. That's not the way to develop a social skills. But the best way of developing social skills in the child is allow the child to take some time and express that, okay, mujhe nahi bolna aaj. It's okay, respect that. Probably that the child is not feeling good. Probably that uncle is or the aunties, the way they are looking at the child or they were touching the child is not something which the child is comfortable with. So respect your child's emotions, feelings, and respect the presence as well. Probably after some time, you can just take some time and talk. That's how you develop social skills. So cognitive and social skills, not getting into the jargons, it is very, very easy to develop in a child. It's just that a little awareness is needed and you are sorted.
Thank you so much, Riddhi ma'am. I think there are three takeaways from this question, right? So first thing, I think you very nicely put it is, do not restrict child's creativity when it comes to cognitive development. That is one big takeaway that I had from this question, and you answered it so well. Second takeaway, what I also felt was, for emotional development, giving the child space. First, you said let the child have a space, his or her space. Then have a good communication with the child to know what the child is feeling. So communication is also a key, because what if you communicate, the child will also learn to communicate. So I think that is one major takeaway that you gave from this
And
question.
Isha,
Thank you so
uh,
much.
and, and
Yeah.
when I say communication, it's not only the verbal one, but the children pick up the non-verbal signals much more than the verbal ones. Okay, so it is very
Absolutely.
important that you think right to put right through your words, because the body leaks often.
Absolutely.
And when the body leaks, what happens is that there is not the verbal and the body language is not in sync with each other. And when there is if they are not in sync with each other, there is a gap, and that's what children pick up. So they understand that
And
there is a gap.
these are things I think the child will pick up first. A
Absolutely.
small child picks these things up first. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering this question. Going on to the next question, Riddhi, what can parents do to ensure that their child's personality development, is still, what they can do for the child's personality development while they're stuck at home, you know? So that is one question that, we've got from most of our parents. So yeah, over to you.
So, while we're talking about personality development of the child, okay, I remember some 14 years before I started personality enhancement for children. So, parents used to come and, would argue with me that why aren't you taking a child of 2.5 years or 3 years, and why aren't you teaching personality? Okay, I would say, who am I to teach a 2.5 year or a 3 year a personality session? Who am I to teach development or enhancing personality of a child? Secondly, it's very important. There are a lot of myths associated with the word personality. For children below 13 years of age, that is the adolescent, a toddler, a child, right? All this age group, it is important that for them, personality is directly proportionate to creating a emotionally intelligent child. Personality is helping them to have a sound mental health. Personality development for them is having trust and respect for each other. Personality development for these children has to be they are cordial with each other, they are understanding their emotions, they are understanding each other, they are bonded well with the parents and the grandparents within the family structure. That is all should be the personality, and not about stress, anger. It should not be about dressing. No, that's not personality. Communication, public speaking, no, 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 strict no. Till 10 years, why public speaking? Why can't you as a parent talk to your child, explain the child, understand, let the child understand what is public speaking? You can enroll, as you rightly said, I have been advisory to the TED Ed club. So TED is TED Ed. It's TED in education. So TED is the organization which has TEDx, TED Ed, TED Youth, TED Women. So I am advisory for various clubs that operates for TED in education for children, and that is young as 8 years and to the oldest at 18. That's the age group. And while we are teaching public speaking to them, it's a very, very play way of teaching public speaking. It's making them understand what they want to talk about, making them, or not even understand, helping them to understand what public speaking or what they want to speak. We just make them aware. By 8 and 9 year old children, we help them to just understand their gestures and how do the presentation be. So how do you look at people and talk? That's all is public speaking for them. Do not do not get into the space of competition for such young children, because you are kind of pressurizing your child, right? And that pressure at such a young age is not something which I would appreciate or I would recommend as a child psychologist, right? So coming to personality, the mahal in the house has to be such that the child doesn't have to go for personality. A, respect. Respect has to be given to the child, because the respect is such a thing that it is to be given, to be, to be getting it for your own self. So give respect to your child, your respect to your child's views, respect to your child's presence, respect to your child's existence. That doesn't mean that misbehavior is supposed to be tolerated, but I'm saying respect the presence. Now let me just put it up, let me share an example which can really make it easy for everybody. So there might be times that a child, when people are sitting, maybe family is sitting, and the child might back answer. A chota bacha, say it be 3 years or 4 years, right? And we immediately say, Dadi ko sorry bolo, go and say sorry to Dadaji, right? That's exactly what we do. Now, when people are sitting and when you tend to correct the child on the child's behavior or the speech, that it's an insult. Just imagine when you are speaking or behaving to somebody and the other person says, hey, this is not the correct word, it is supposed to be pronounced this way, okay? Or hey, this is not the way you sit, cross your legs and sit. Okay, if in front of people you are correcting them, it's kind of an insult to them. Okay, so what you can do is, the best way to respect is tabhi kuch mat bolo, but take that opportunity to discuss and teach a value to your child. And that's where you are creating a space for your child, that when you are alone, you can talk to your parent, or a parent can talk to you, and you have an understanding with each other. Okay, so that is something which you need to emphasize, that is something which you need to kind of inculcate in the daily life. So first is respect, second is trust. Very often छोटे बच्चे को we say, you're telling a lie na, तुमने ये किया ना. Lie is the word which is not supposed to be spoken, right? Multiple times spoken is where you are reinforcing that the child is a liar. And even if the child is not lying, the child will get into the space because we are reinforcing multiple times. नहीं नहीं कुछ और ही था ना, नहीं नहीं मुझे पता है कुछ और था. So that's how you are reinforcing that the child is lying. Instead of saying that, if you know that the child is lying, give the time to your child, some time, and say, you know what, I trust you as much as you trust mama. Mama trust you, papa trust you. Okay, and the word trust has to be reinforced. Second way, when you see that you understand that the child is cooking up stories. Hey, I understand it's something else. Do you want to talk about it? So the word lie is not supposed to be reinforced multiple times, but show that you are trusting your child, show that you are believing in your child, right? So trust, respect. Third important thing is make the child emotionally intelligent. How do we do that? Increase the emotional IEI's vocabulary, kindness, understanding each other, and वो घर से ही शुरू होता है. Probably if you have your in-laws, that's the grandparents staying with you, have a menu for the week to be done, right? And involve the child. Say, okay, go to the go to Dadaji and say what would you like to eat during the week, or go to Dadiji and get to this, right? So you are involving the child in multiple things. One, the child is understanding that the menu can be done and it's together. Second is you are helping the child to understand that everybody who stays within the family, their views have to be respected and you have to consider their views and suggestions and likings, right? This is how choti choti cheeze is going to help you to build that personality of a child. Fourth important thing is avoid shouting or screaming or spanking your child, because that's going to affect the esteem of the child. So the child, no child is born shy, no child is born with less confidence. It's we somewhere with our behavior tend to kind of affect that confidence and esteem. When we start tagging them a lot, when we constantly instruct them, it's where we are nagging, and that nagging affects their confidence. Nagging in front of people, nagging in personal. So it's better that these are the things, if you take care of, it's how you're building a very, very strong personality, strong in terms of a very confident and very, um, you know, a personality wherein the child understands the worth. And when you start doing this in the initial years, आगे जाके बच्चे को कोई bully नहीं कर पाएगा, because the child will know his or her worth, right? And he will not get lured by the people who are going to abuse or bully him. He knows how to give back. He knows how to discuss with you, correct, and take corrective steps, or he knows how to put his foot down for that. So this is how you build a child's personality.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. I think again a lot of takeaways from this question for all the parents. Respect, intelligence, developing intelligence of the child, building trust in the child, not showing negative or physical, physically negative behaviors with the child, like spanking, you said. So I think these are some things that are major takeaways that most of our parents out here will definitely, I would see them implementing, at least for the children. So thank you so much for giving the perfect answer to this question. Going on to the next question, Riddhi, other than having virtual conversations, so just like we are having virtual conversations, right? So with the family members and friends, how can parents increase the child's social interaction while being confined at home due to lockdown? So that was one question. Yeah.
Awesome.
To you.
Amazing. I mean, I'm loving the questions, Isha. So, have you ever thought of doing gardening with your child? That's where you are using that space to create social interaction with your child. allow the child to sit with you, garden, do gardening, allow them to sow the seeds, help them to understand which seeds are supposed to be, which grain it is, or which vegetable it is, or which fruit it is, and help the child to understand. And why? While you are doing gardening, you tend to discuss with your child. That's where your child understands that, okay, TV में क्या होता है, when the child is given a screen time, it's just one way communication that is happening. So the children are missing on two-way communication these days, and specifically the ones who have started the online school, right? And who doesn't know what is preschool or going to school and meeting teachers by 3.5 years, right? So start doing gardening and start talking about the things. Second important thing is every day night before going to sleep, maybe there are a lot of journals available online, which you can just purchase, and you can sit with your child and do that journaling. Simple questions wherein you can ask your child how the day was, how many times you felt happy, how many times you felt like crying, how many times you were scared. So that is how one way you're putting emotions and feelings, you're giving names to those emotions and feelings. And second important thing is that you are communicating with your child, right? And while you are journaling, ensure that you have so both the parents has to be there. It's a question of 10 to 12, 15 minutes, not more than that, so that you can do it. Third important thing, how you develop, and apart from this virtual thing, is while the virtual session happens or while the virtual family meets happen, what you can do is take snapshots, get a printout done, involve the child in creating an album, and help the child to recall those moments and write below the photograph. Okay, so the child is just not involved in the virtual connect with the people, but he is involved in understanding each family member and writing the moments also. Okay, so that's how social skills can be developed. Very fourth important is have a 10-15 minutes family gathering every day. Whoever, if you're a nuclear family, all three of you can do the journaling and sit and do nothing. No TV, no mobile, nothing. Just sit idly and chit chat, whatever comes to the mind. That is how you give time, and that's the quality time. And when you start giving quality time to your children, is where they understand that it's okay to communicate. And communication is all about two-way process and not one way, which is bombarded on you.
Absolutely, Riddhi. So I think again, a lot of things that we learn from this question, right? So social interaction, the first beginning that you gave was, it starts from parents. So you just said that how many times do we gargle with the child? First interaction is always with the parent. So that was one thing. And then you told us that when they are interacting with family members, you must screenshot, you help them identify the person, when did they see them, so on and so forth. So that was a real good takeaway. So this is like an information to all our parents, right? Social interaction begins from home first. It is the parent first,
Absolutely.
and then we will have family members and everyone that will automatically we will be involved with them. So thank you so much, Riddhi. Next we
Absolutely.
come to the next question. Immediate next question that I have is what kind of self-care methods can be provided by the parents to the children to maintain children's emotional well-being?
Uh, why only children? Parents need a lot of self-care, right? They are so much pressurized right now. They are within the four walls of the house. They are taking care of their profession. They are taking care of their house. They're taking care of the children. They are taking, the I wouldn't say burden, but they are taking that extra weight of the emotions of their spouse and the family members as well. Okay, तो इनको पहले सेल्फ केयर चाहिए. बच्चों को तो बाद में हो जाएगा, because बच्चे children are sorted if the parents are sorted. Okay, so छोटी छोटी चीजें. Recently, Isha, I would like to share here. In fact, I'll take this opportunity to share that I did after the pandemic struck. I felt, look into the cases I started receiving. I started my research, and after the research of around 5.5 to 6 months, I launched a program that's called a self care for parents. मैंने सोचा था छोटा सा प्रोग्राम है, मैं तो बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स करती रहती थी, तो ये छोटा सा रहेगा एंड मे बी वन ग्रुप हो जाएगा, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप हो जाएगा. आई सेड आई थ्रो 15 days challenge for parents, and that's how I started. But to my surprise, it was just not one WhatsApp group. 889 parents attended that whole program of self-care, and it was a 15 days challenge. So every day I used to put up a challenge for them, and they have to implement. Now, what are these challenges and what is self-care? Is there are so many myths and associated when we talk about self-care. Self-care is just not going to cinema and spending some money and spending time over there. Self-care is not going to spa. Self-care is just not about watching TV and the Saas Bhau serials, right? Self-care is much more than that. So first self-care is, did you give respect to yourself? Did you hug yourself? Probably every morning, just give a very tight hug to yourself. And that's self-care because you're connecting with yourself. When you hug yourself, you love yourself. You give importance to yourself. And second important thing is that when you are giving a hug to yourself and you're giving a hug to your spouse and you're giving a hug to your child sees that it's important to give a hug to self. It's important to understand and have a mind body connect, right? Second, very important about self care is for parents, I'm talking about that. Did you think about what is harming your confidence? Did you note down all the stuff or all the people who have been kind of bullying you or going negative against you? Have you ever thought of writing those people's name or the things or the incidents that is hampering your mental health? Did you ever think of that? So what we do is we kind of give me a moment. So we don't give importance to these things, and then we talk about going out and self-care. That's not self-care because when you are not understanding yourself, when you're not connected with yourself, when you're not giving importance to yourself, but if you're going out, it's not going to work for you. That's going to be a really temporary time you are just doing. Have you ever sat with yourself in the morning with a cup of tea and planned your day? What we do is as parents is, नहीं मुझे याद रहेगा ना, मुझे सब कुछ याद है, and जब वो याद करने का time आता है, then we tend to forget. All right. So have you created a to-do list so that you don't stress your brains, you don't uh, you know kind of clutter it too much, but you are making everything on the diary to do. Alarm बजेगा, आप कर लो अपना काम, ठीक है? So make things easy for yourself. That is self-care. Self-care is sitting every day or probably twice a week to understand your pattern, your emotions and feelings ka pattern. Have you ever sat and saw that? Have you understood or written that आज मैं कितनी बार anxious हुई थी because of my office work? How many times I shouted? How many times I got angry? See your pattern of 15 days and then you can work on yourself. That is self-care. If you are an adult, I'm sure parents are adults, sorry. And if you are working, have you put your finances right? Have you decluttered your wardrobes? Have you decluttered your house? And as you are decluttering your house and your wardrobes, have you decluttered your brain? That is very important. That is self-care. I remember my mother always used to tell me that never allow somebody to stay in your head without giving any rent. We don't allow people to walk in a house and say, okay, I'm going to stay here for some days, right? We don't allow. But for brain, we allow that. So my mother always used to tell me that don't allow anybody to stay back in your head for longer time, and without giving any sort of rent. So that's something which I've been telling my clients also, and the clients and their parents, that this is something which you need to take care. And when you start doing all this stuff, while you start giving importance to your own self and your family, and while you are feeling so satisfied and happy, your child is thoroughly mirroring you, and your child is getting direct answers or direct exposed to the world self-care. वो बच्चा करेगा ही करेगा, ठीक है? And the last but not the least for the self-care, if you see your child sitting idly or doing just nothing, don't go and say, hey, तू तो time waste कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है? Why are you sitting so idly? Nothing to do क्या? नहीं, don't ask. Sitting idly for 15-20 minutes is very important. Getting bored is very important. Let the child get bored, because boredom is kind of, is a mother of all inventions, I would say. So let the child be creative and do it. And as much as you allow your child to get bored or sit idly, you also do that. So every day 15-20 minutes ऐसे ही बैठ जाओ, कुछ भी, no mobile, no paper pen, no TV, no gardening, no cooking, no spouse, nobody, just sit idly. And that's going to be an energy booster for you. This is self-care.
Thank you so much. I mean, self-care का literal meaning ना रिद्धि मैम ने perfect लिख दिया है. So it's like giving first attention. So the question itself was self-care, and Riddhi ma'am did mention that parents need to first take care of themselves, and then it is going to be transferred to the kids. They will observe you, and they will themselves take care. So very important thing is that modeling, right? This is where modeling happens. So thank you so much for this answer. Perfect answer given for this self-care wala question. Thank you. So coming to the next question, Riddhi. If a child feels some kind of stress, grief, anxiety, aggression, what are the kind of immediate reassurances or coping mechanisms the parents, the child psychology background, so you can definitely guide our parents as. So yeah, over to you.
When your child is upset, anxious, angry, avoid probing the child to why the situation is or why the child is behaving. The probing kind of reinforces the emotion in the child. So do not probe. But if you find that your child is really angry, I understand is the golden word you need to use, and tell your child, I understand you are angry with something. You want to talk or you want some time? Ask the child. Give the child some time. Very important. Agar the child is very anxious, very scared, why are you getting scared? लड़की है क्या? आजकल तो लड़के भी नहीं होते, तो लड़की होके डर रही है. So we give this gender biases right from the young age. So instead of doing that, what you can do is you can just give a tight hug to your child. Probably just take the child's hand in your hand and just sit for some time. That is very important. So instead of reinforcing the emotions, it's better that you give a solution to your child. Sometimes a child knows the solution. It's just that a child wants some support from your end, some kind of understanding, and that non-verbal connect the child is seeking. So just a hug, or just sitting beside your child, or just taking a hand in hand, or probably just asking, I understand. I understand is such a wonderful sentence. It's a complete sentence, I would say. Use as much as you can with your child. That will give your child a sense of security. That will give your child a sense of acceptance. And that will give your child a space of understanding that, okay, I am valued, I'm respected, and my views are matter a lot. So this is how you tackle, and not by probing. Immediate probing is strict no.
Thanks, Riddhi. So parents, probing is something that is a big no-no, all right? So I think a big takeaway from this is, non-verbal cues that you give to the child when the child is really not, having all these negative emotions. So very simple things, a hug, just holding the hand and sitting. And, very important thing is statements beginning from I understand. So I think that is a very important takeaway that we have from this question. So I'm sure that the parents are going to implement this. Thanks, Riddhi. Thank you so much. Coming to the next question, Riddhi, what are the resources that the parents should reach out to when sudden changes are seen in their child's behavior? So is there any resources that they are supposed to reach out to? So for example, if I know that my child is, absolutely fine, and all of a sudden over a period of time I'm seeing changes in his behavior pattern. So is there any resources that we can reach out to?
The first person or the first uh, you know, support you can give it to your child is you yourself as a parent. And second is visit a qualified counselor or a qualified psychologist. Now, why I'm saying qualified therapist, psychologist, or a counselor? Because when they're qualified and they're practicing, they understand how to deal with it. Okay. The space of counseling and psychologists shouldn't be, by any point of time, this space should not be manipulated. So ensure that you visit the right person, and it can be anybody. But before even going to the counselor or a psychologist, do not shy away from understanding, observing your child, and discussing with your spouse that I'm noticing. Many times parents come to us, one of the parent come to us, and the other parent is just clueless on what is happening. Parenting is never a one person's job unless and until you are a single parent. If you are married and staying together, parenting is never a single person's job, right? So involve your spouse, understand that what are the behavioral changes you're seeing, and then consult a psychologist or consult a counselor. Don't initially take your child. Probably you can visit and understand why this happens. Probably a little change in your behavior, your talk, your system and process in the house can also help your child to go well, or the behavioral changes that is happening with the child might get sorted. So in the first thing, you need not, um, you know, uh, take your child to a counselor or psychologist, but just go and meet and take advice and suggestions. It's no more a taboo to seek help.
Thanks, Riddhi. For the parents, another message given by Riddhi is that if you know that your child is having a behavioral issue, definitely the first point of contact is going to be the parent. The parent has to understand the child. And then going to a qualified professional in order to understand the child's behavior is something that we really need to keep into consideration, and asking suggestions or asking advice from those qualified psychologists is no more like a taboo, so I think you can talk to them as friends and find out how exactly can we help our child to grow better, right? So that was one takeaway. Thanks so much, Riddhi. I think we will go to the next question now. That is, how can parents work on providing children an environment of family gathering and festival celebration? So I think now it's a season of festivals, right? Beginning from Independence Day, now it will go on, I think. How this within their homes to make them feel secure and happy. So what can the parents do in this situation right now? Since everything is online.
The best example is leave the caste and creed to side pay and involve your child in celebrating each and everything that comes, right? Like each and every festival of irrelevant of the caste, irrelevant of whether it belongs to. If it's a Rose Day, involve the child in Rose Day. It's just not limited to young boys and girls in the or probably college going. It's everywhere. Ganpati, instead of getting the idol from outside, help your child, give some mitti and help your child to create. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube available. Help your child create something. Okay, color it, involve the child. Janmashtami hai, Navratri hai, so many things now, so many festivals. Eid gayi abhi. Involve the child. So the best way of doing is talk about that festival to the child, how they celebrate. Probably one or two items you can make it at home. जैसे गणपति जी के लड्डू और मोदक होते हैं, ईद के टाइम सेवइयां होती है. So prepare that thing and talk about that festival. Take that opportunity to talk about that particular religion, that particular celebration, and the food item, what is associated, and which country it comes from or originates from, right? So this is how you are increasing the the general knowledge of your child. आपको सिर्फ आधे घंटे का मेहनत पड़ेगा, but I think you're helping your child to understand so many things. Okay, and let us keep that caste and things aside, because I don't think that's the right way to initially involve your children in all that. It would be better that let your child enjoy. Say it be Christmas, take a small Christmas tree, decorate it, put hang chocolates, gather 2 or 3 children from outside, probably have a play date at home with your child's friends, have some juice, fresh juices, and create some a small cookies and something, and that's all they sorted. Maybe 1 or 2 games, and that's how you teach about it. Talk about Santa. Talk about why is Christmas celebrated. What is 25th December all about? What was the life history of Jesus and Mother Mary, and talk about it. I mean, it's going to help your child a lot of things to understand, and if child feels connected. And after all, you know what, Isha, um, it's very important that we allow our child to uh, be in that happy state for a longer time, because as the child grows, right, we have a lot of hurdles coming our way. So for you and me, it's going to be sure, like it's never the simple road that goes, it's kind of bumpy one it goes, right? So child already has to handle. When the child grows, as much as you allow your child to understand and be that happy space, the child will understand how to be in that happy space irrelevant of that bumpy road he has later on in his life. Okay, so he will know that how to seek happiness from within, or from choti choti cheezein that's happening around, and be happy. So kuch bhi problems aayegi, but the child will know how to kind of seek happiness from all that stuff that is um, coming their way, or choti choti cheezein, a gathering, maybe a festival, and that's how their mental health is taken care of.
Thanks so much, Riddhi. Riddhi, I mean, you really gave that answer of, having this multicultural aspect taken into consideration whenever there is a festival being celebrated. So it's not like if I'm a Hindu, then I will be only considering my Hindu festival. So you said that let them celebrate all festivals, irrespective of whether it's related to them or not related to them. So that was
Absolutely.
one major takeaway that I had from you, and I think how to get children involved in understanding those festivals are also something that you got into life. Why is it celebrated? What was the reason, and why do we still celebrate those festivals? So all of these are things that we as parents do need to communicate to our children. Otherwise, how else will they know about all these things? So,
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely correct answers that, giving me the actual edu hack of how to deal with all these problems, when it comes to children and, their behavioral aspects. So thank you so much, Riddhi. So now we will open our question polls for the parents, and Riddhi, one by one, maybe as in when I see the questions for another 15 minutes, as in when I see the questions, I will definitely direct it to
Sure.
you. So if you
Sure.
just wait for 1 minute, if I have some questions popping up. So meanwhile, I will ask you one question which one of our parent has mentioned here is how can parents strengthen their relationship with kids during the pandemic? So like you said, you answered it earlier, but then this is something that is really coming from one of the parent again. So if you could just elaborate on that particular aspect for this parent. Yes.
How do you strengthen the bonding? by by allowing your child to be a part and parcel of your life. What we as parents do is, when we give a birth to a child, the child is at that pedestal wherein we put Bhagwan there. You know, tumko nahi pata, tum chote ho, and then special attention is given to the child. Don't do that. Involve the child in your life, albeit age appropriate. So हम 1.5 साल 2 साल के बच्चे को फाइनेंसेस की बात नहीं करते हैं, हम 18 साल तक फाइनेंसेस की बात नहीं करते हैं. करेक्ट? आवर फाइनेंसेस इज समथिंग वेर इन योर हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ डू सॉल्व इट और डिस्कस इट. But when it comes to children, do involve them. Involve them in setting up a plant in the house, or changing the decor of a little house, or what color you want in your room. You have two options. So give options, but options in a way that you want those options, and usme se one selection karne do. The child is going to be, loving that, being a part of it. You are creating a leadership quality in your child. Third important thing is the child is feeling responsible and accepted within the family, right? So start doing all this choti cheeze wherein you are involving your child, creating menu. Probably while you are cooking, give your child some mats, or maybe one or two plate, and say, okay, let us set the table together, so you carry this, I carry this. Involve the child. Even if you're doing a laundry, so putting up the clothes in the washing machine, involve your child. Each and everything, involve your child. That's going to create a very strong bonding. And dusra is a benefit here, that your child will not come back and say that, hey, this is not a boy's job and this is not a girl's job. You're involving your child in each and everything. Okay, so that's something where work is, when it comes to work within the four walls of the house, it's not gender related. It's our family, our house, and our work. It is supposed to be there. So involved in everything. If you are putting pillows on the place, one pillow apne bacche ko do, ab dusra pillow rakho. So everything you involve your child, and that's how you're going to create a very, very strong bonding. And dusra, while we say that involve your children, but also it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes, or cry, or say, okay, you will not understand. So not to talk about all this stuff to your children, but you can always say and show that, okay, I was feeling sad, but after talking to you, or after talking to my mom, or sharing with your father, or sharing with my sister, I felt good. So you're giving two messages, that it's okay to cry, it's okay to share and feel good, let go, not hold on to things, and it's fine, I'm fine. So there are multiple examples by the way you behave or you share the things with your child, multiple messages you pass on, multiple teachings you are giving to your child, and that's how you create a very, very strong bonding with your child.
Absolutely, Riddhi. So I think a very strong message has gone to the parent who had asked this question. So I hope that answers the query of that parent. Thank you so much for asking the question, and thanks, Riddhi, for answering. Coming to the next question that I can see here in my questions panel is, we have heard a lot of notions that make the child resilient to stress. All right. Does that make sense at an early age, like 3 to 5 year old?
So I think the word stress, I would like to park it for some time. I would like to talk about the word resilience. The first and important point that has been raised here is that, are we actually teaching our children resilience? Pandemic taught all of us that how important resilience is, right? Many families, they have kind of they have been dipping in their salaries. There were loss of family members. The jobs of one of the spouses was just they lost the job. So multiple things, but resilience, few families could cope up with it, and they could understand how to work on this, but few couldn't, right? The few who couldn't, because they had not imbibed in themselves the word resilience, the value and virtue of resilience. What is resilience? ये तो हो गया, अब कैसे उसको सुधारे? Don't we mothers do this in the kitchen? कभी salt ज्यादा हो जाता है तो what we, हाँ अब salt तो ज्यादा हो गया, अब what is the kitchen hack that we do, what is the cooking hack that we do that salt को बराबर हो जाए, right? Don't we do that? So that's exactly about our life. And your children is not going to learn resilience just by you giving example. Your child is going to learn resilience by observing you, by mirroring you, by modeling you. Have you imbibed resilience in yourself? When somebody kind of a chota sa jhagda ghar mein ho gaya, you shout, you react, you don't speak for days and days, your child is observing. That is not being resilient. Talk it out. You lost a job. Okay, instead of sitting and crying, yeah, I understand it's not a, it's very difficult, very, very difficult. You lost your parent, very difficult situation. Who better than me can understand the situation? But sitting and crying over the situation is not going to help you. Ek din, do din, fine. Third thing, talk to yourself and say, okay, how do I overcome this? How do I get my smile back? How do I help other people in the family? And how do I solve the situation? That is being resilience. And believe me, your children are just observing you. So resilience in a child, uh, stress in a child, I would not like much to discuss it because wo nahi hota hai itna. It is just escalated from we parents. Okay, so are we resilient, and are we aware of how to handle our stress? Are we aware of how to maintain those, um, you know uh, that stage wherein we are not burning out, um, we are not too stressed out, and we are not affecting our mental health? This is something I want you to concentrate upon rather than concentrating on resilience and stress in a young child, because for these children it is you from where it's going to escalate. So teach resilience to your child. Let them mirror, let them be aware of the situations, let them be aware of the things that is happening around. Don't shun them, but also show them how to overcome the situation, because that is going to help them in their life, and not how you have kind of allowed yourself into that space, because that's going to harm them.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Riddhi. Thank you so much. Riddhi, one or two more questions. So, for example, right now I have one question that is come on my screen, and it is something really valid because I think most of our children are now um, a lot more involved with our TV screens and mobile screens. So, if I want to direct my child, you know, that there is a stipulated time and there is a tantrum that my child throws. You know, when I tell him that no, you're not supposed to see TV now, or you're not supposed to see the mobile now. So, is there any hacks that you can give our parents? Because I think most of our parents are facing this issue wherein because now it's the technology age, and if I'm saying technology, all of them are it's open now. I mean, your screen time is open, your mobile time is open. So how do the parents direct the children now that for a particular time mobile is fine, but not for the whole day, so that is one direction that our parents want to hear from. Yes.
The easiest way to do this is create family rules. So few family rules have to be there. Okay, while eating, no mobile phone. While eating, no television. Um, while you are with the family, sitting and chatting, no television, no mobile phones. So that's outright cancel. And if you are preaching this to your children, ensure that you are also doing it. Right? You can't be living two lives. That one is for yourself and one for your child. That cannot happen. So ensure that you are also doing it. And now, if you are the one who have a habit of eating food while you're watching TV, then once a while allow your child, but that's not the correct way of doing it. So it's better that you don't associate two things. Okay? I have seen a lot of parents that even if the child is going on the potty sit, usko iPad deke betha denge. Okay? Now, never ever combine two things. Sitting and going to the loo is a different act altogether. Sitting on the iPad and learning or watching something is altogether another act. Avoid mixing two acts. Running around and making them eat food? No. Playing is different, eating food is different. Food is supposed to be had at a special place. Study happens at particular place. So if you keep these things handy, or if you keep these rules on place, things will go really good for you. तो आधा तो वहीं पे आपका आसान हो जाएगा. Second rule is after the school. So right now the school is online. So if your child is below 3, then it's out of question to give your child mobile phone. Please avoid. There is lot to do for a child than to sit with a mobile phone and play games or watch nursery rhymes on mobile phone. Why don't you sing for it? Why don't you create the singing time, have a singing time and teach your child rather than giving a mobile phone. You can't have a parenting substitute via mobile phone or a television, right? So below
Right.
3 years is strict no. Above 3 years, if the child is in study and like 1 hour or 2 hours, if the child is studying online, after that, at least for 3 hours, 4 hours, no screen. Involved in gardening, make them sleep, let them relax, let them play with, create their games, do painting, play in sand, create some with, um, you know, the clay and all, create something, help the child to create something. Maybe envelope पे thumb printing karao, vegetable printing karao, sell the envelopes, involve the children in such things rather than giving your child a mobile phone or put on the television and say, hey, you spend your time here, I have something else to do. So you cannot substitute your parenting responsibilities via mobile phone or television, right? So this, if these things are taken care of, I'm sure बहुत कम हो जाएगा. और जबकि family rules बना रहे हो, involve your child. That how much time you would like to spend on television, and whatever you decide, you stick to it, right? So if your child say 1 hour, perfect. उसके बाद नहीं. Let the child understand of being responsible and taking the onus of the decisions. Right? So there are multiple ways you do this, but ensure that the family rules are on place. And second is, if you have put some rules on place, then ensure that you also don't violate that rules.
Absolutely. Perfect answer given to this question too. So Riddhi, one last question before we end the session. I think it's already near closing. So one last question what I would want to ask is what are the kind of calm and proactive conversations parents should have with their children during the pandemic? So even though if my child is throwing a tantrum, what is the positive and a calm way of approaching my child? So I think majority of the time, so coming from the profession and even having a child who is of the nursery class, like for myself, there are times where we lose our cool, but how do we then direct our thoughts that no, he's a child and there is a different approach that I need to help him know that he is not doing the right thing. So could you just help us here?
Patience, perseverance, and consistency. These three words, if you imbibe, and resilience, if those four words you imbibe in your life, it's going to make your life really easy, parents. Okay. And the fifth is reaction. Don't react immediately. What we do is, अपने बच्चे ने कुछ बोल दिया तुरंत से, अरे क्यों भाई, आराम से. And a child is throwing tantrum. In fact, I'm working on this tantrum thing right now. Currently, I'm creating a structure for this tantrum. No tantrums is directly proportionate to the immediate incident that has happened. It is proportionate to any incident that has happened a week before, a day before, a month before, or somewhere in the childhood. Remember that, right? So get into that grassroots and understand why and what. Do not react. When you react, there are chances of going wrong, and there are chances that you are reinforcing that whole situation and this emotion in a child. So it's better that you don't reinforce, you don't probe, you don't react. Sometimes I understand the sentence is kafi. That solves the purpose. And just a smile or just doing nothing about it. By that time, to take an opportunity to sit with your child and explain about the things which the child should be understanding or disciplining the child. It is very important. So immediate reactions is strict no. By that time, spend some quality time, address that situation, because that's going to be a learning for a longer time, instead of reacting and giving disciplinary sessions to your child, immediate bhashan baji, that's going to spoil. And probably the child will get your chabi that, okay, this is how my parents get irritated. That chabi will happen a lot of time. So instead of giving that, explain it in a calmer way, in a calmer situation, with a calmer mind, and you will be able to leave a better example for your child.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. I think throughout the session, there was this one thing that you kept telling the parents that if you do it, the children will model you. You know, that kind of a thing. I think in all the questions that we asked, that was the major takeaway for me, that the child is going to model you. So whatever you show it, verbal, non-verbal, the child is going to learn that and apply it to his surrounding. So that
one
was
of the parents, so one of the parents is putting a message for me on Messenger that while you're talking about the stress and all, do you mean that while we constantly observe us and we should be, don't we get stressed out of it? Certainly, you did not observe or you did not take stress about it, dear parent. What you have to take care is just be mindful about the words and the uh, you know the situation, and be mindful about the way you react to the situation. That is very important.
absolutely, absolutely, Riddhi. Thank you so much. I mean, I think even when you spoke about these tantrum things, it is unbelievable that they will remember things even that are 1 month back. Something that has happened negative 1 month back, the reaction is still coming today, you know. So that is something that, I mean, for us parents to know that their memories are very much sharper than our memories, you know. So I think these are some things that parents should implement and be mindful. That's the right exact word what you gave, Riddhi. You know, be mindful of whatever we do, whether the way we are speaking to the front person, or we are interacting with another person, or anything. We need to be mindful with everything that we do, because our children are seeing us in and out, and they are going to.
So what is being mindful? It is all about observe yourself. When you're doing journaling and all, you'll be able to understand your pattern and behave as the way you want others to behave with you. Simple as that.
Absolutely. 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 Thank you so much, Riddhi, for giving our parents here so much information so that they can use these hacks, uh, from now on. I'm sure all of us are going to use these small, small hacks that you gave us. With this, we come to the end of our series, our second series. So once again, I would want to thank Riddhi for coming here, giving us your precious time to us and helping us with such useful hacks that we can use. And last but not the least, I would also want to thank all our attendees here for making this really successful for us. And we would definitely come back with another series, like we have promised that we'll be coming back with something next month also. So stay tuned, and definitely we will see you all again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Riddhi.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, leaves the recording off. Okay. Thank you, Pooja. Isha, Pooja, Hitesh.